Hey, welcome back to Blackwood Decor's YouTube channel, and today I want to share 5 tips and tricks that have served me well in my woodworking journey, and I think they'll serve you well too. And the best part is these only cost like $2,000 or $3,000, and they're gonna make you the best woodworker ever. I'm joking. All of these are absolutely free. They're just small tweaks in our everyday shop use and in the way we think and the way that we go about things. But they can completely transform the way that you build and allow more space in your mind for creativity. So tip number 1, get organized. I know it sounds simple. Being organized streamlines the process in your shop and it saves you time and patience. And I don't know about you, but I only have about so much patience that I have to give away in the day. And if my patience is being given away on looking for tools or working around mess and clutter in my shop, I can't put that patience into the project, which we all know that there's quite a few things while working on these projects that take a lot of patience. So take a day or a weekend and do a shop layout. Draw out your shop, take a tool inventory based upon frequency of use and shop orientation. Lay them out so that way you've got a smooth transition. Those tools that you use all the time are easily accessible. I know pegboard isn't sexy, but it's very functional, and all of the tools that I use on a day-to-day basis are right at arm's reach. They're right there. I don't have to look for them. And once I'm done with them, they go right back to that spot. So think about what you use in your shop. Think about the workflow in your shop, and then organize your shop to that, and then keep it organized. Which leads us on to shop rule number 2. Be kind to yourself tomorrow. Imagine going to the gym. You go to work out early in the morning and you walk in and there is weights all over the floor. There's towels on the benches. There's still weights on the machine. You would think, what the heck kind of a gym is? I can't work out in this gym. Like, who left this like this? Same goes for your shop. Be kind to yourself tomorrow. This is the golden rule in my shop. If you don't go on to anything else in this video, any of the other tips and tricks, listen to this one. Take 15 minutes at the end of your shop day and just clean everything up. Because tip number 1, you've got your shop organized, everything has its place, it's very easy to take those tools, hang them up on the wall, put your things away, and do a quick cleanup so that way when you walk into your shop, stop and take a note of how you feel. You're gonna feel inspired. You're gonna feel light. You're not gonna feel the chaos. You're gonna feel creative in that space. So be kind to yourself tomorrow. Take a few minutes, clean up your shop before you shut out the lights at night. Tip number 3, woodworking is all about precise measurements. And you say, well, Blake, I can read a ruler. And I'm not questioning your intelligence and your ability to read a ruler, but just for example, can you see that? So let's say we take this ruler or this tape measure and we put it on a board and we are pulling it against the board and we mark it, and then we take it to our table saw and we push that tape measure against the fence to make that measurement again. You might lose 1/8 of an inch or a 1/16 of an inch, and that might not be a big deal for one piece, but with these variables and 16, 18, 20 cuts on a project, those start to add up to something being very, very off, a 1/4 inch off, or something being out of square. So we need to refine our measurements as much as we can and eliminate those variables. And one way to do that is to use a ruler. A ruler doesn't move, and even a ruler that has a gauge on it that you can set so that way you can make repeatable measurements. Those are the types of refinements I'm talking about when we are trying to measure more precisely. And then think about how you mark your measurements. Are you using a construction grade pencil that has a dull tip? Are you using a mechanical pencil? Or are you using a marking knife or a marking gauge? There's a huge difference between the thicknesses of those marks and how you're gonna cut those marks and where you're working to. So refining our measurements is super, super important when we are trying to better our woodworking skills. Tip number 4, are you using the right tool for the job? A lot of times in the fog of building, our minds are thinking 1 or 2 steps ahead. With that concentration looking forward, sometimes we find frustration with doing the task at hand. So whenever I have frustration or I'm starting to lose patience with the task that I'm doing, I stop and I think, am I using the right tool for this job? Have I just breezed past this in the initial planning phase, and this was the way that I agreed upon that I was going to do this task? Or can I rethink it and maybe there's a different tool that will make this process easier and make it go faster? Or am I utilizing a tool that hasn't been sharpened in 6 months? Am I utilizing a chisel that hasn't been sharpened in 6 months, and I'm trying to cut out this mortise and it's just giving me heck? Are you using the right tool for the job? Whenever I have a problem, I stop, I go back and I say, is my tool sharp enough? Is this the right tool for the job? Can I do this a different way? And normally that saves myself from beating my head against the wall or pushing through a difficult part of the process because I've skipped a step or forgot to think about a certain way to do it differently and more effectively. And the last and final tip on our list is haste makes waste. If we are losing patience and we're trying to push through on a difficult part of the build, a lot of times that hastiness, you're gonna make a mistake, and that mistake is going to not only waste material, but it wastes time, and then you have to go back to the start and redo all of that. So there's times where I'm feeling hasteful and I want to push through this and get this thing done so I can get on to the next step and get one step closer to finishing this project. And sometimes when I get in that mood, I just say, you know what, today's not the day I'm gonna do this. I don't wanna mess up. I don't wanna waste this material. I don't wanna get hurt. I don't wanna put my safety at risk. So I leave it. I leave it and I come back on a different day and when I'm feeling fresh and ready to tackle it, because just doing things at a hasty pace, it makes waste in the shop, and that's not what gets projects done. So the last thing I'll leave you with is this. It's not a tip, it's not a trick, it's more of a mindset. Perfecting your skills and continuing to move them forward allows you to step out of your comfort zone, out of this little comfort bubble. And outside of that comfort zone is where I think exponential growth and learning truly happens. And the more that we can set ourselves up for success on a day-to-day basis and make that success repeatable, we can start branching out and getting out of that comfort zone. And I think that that's where we become amazing, incredible woodworkers. And I hope that you take these tricks and tips and tricks and golden rules and all of those, and you put them into practice. And if you leave in the comments 6 months from now that, wow, that cleaning up the shop, I didn't think that would change my woodworking so much, but it truly has. I hope that these tips and tricks serve you well, and you can then pull yourself out of your comfort zone and start making bigger and better projects that you never thought that you would make. My name's Blake, this is Blackwood Decor's channel. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.